Hello Leo, and welcome to your monthly horoscope for May for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me because I will then dive deep to give you in great detail each of the key dates and influences that impact on your sign. Now, the most impressive thing about this month, I feel, is that your sector of goals and ambitions is electrified, or has been electrified, by the solar eclipse, the black moon, that occurred right at the end of April. And that energy is going to cascade into the next 6 months. But because Uranus is in the mix, and it's linking with the Sun for the first week of this month, the opportunity comes from daring to be different, being more innovative, or going for goals and ambitions that perhaps challenge you in some way, but help you to really get in touch with your full potential. Because you are a fire sign and because you're ruled by the Sun, there is a natural belief that life comes rather easily to Leos. But the key is that you are someone who likes to work collaboratively with others. And that is going to be tested a little bit this month by the lunar eclipse of the 16th, to be honest, because that's going to be feeding into the energies of Saturn, which, as you know, can be a little bit restraining. But not only is that a solar eclipse at the start of this month really helping you to showcase your talents, the entry of Venus on the 2nd, of Jupiter on the 10th, and Mars on the 24th into the sign of Aries, which shares your fire triplicity. That's really important because that's going to help you to get beyond the fixed energy of your sign, which is more comfortable with what you know. And that in itself, that set of influences, particularly in the last week of this month, really gives you a fantastic push to be more daring and adventurous than ever before. Now, if you're new to my channel, I would be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification. This means every time I share a video, YouTube will give you an alert. But if you would like to ascend above this Zodiac broadcast and understand more serious astrology in terms of your own natal chart, you can order my package of a 12-month forecast and a character analysis and get 30% off by seeing the link beneath this video. This will give you searing insights to what makes you tick, your fullest potential, and also help you to plan when to go for things and when to hold back. And finally, if you'd like to get your free written daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, please also see the link below. So Leo, as you make your way into the month of May, you do have that glorious solar eclipse lighten up your goals and ambitions, but it does require you to seize the moment, to really, in some ways, perhaps embrace those things that are a little bit different, not necessarily just follow the well-trodden path. So, for example, if your employment situation has changed, perhaps because of COVID, perhaps because of technology, perhaps because of just the changes in the world, particularly to energy prices that has been so quick to occur this year, I think the more that you can explore things that are a little fresher and are more experimental, the more you can benefit. So that's what that solar eclipse is laying the challenge down to you. But Mercury, the planet of communication, is in shadow at the start of this month. It actually began on the 26th of April. Shadow period means that it's slowing down. So when it comes to your connections to others, it's probably wise not to necessarily and automatically assume that everybody is necessarily going to pitch in to support what you want to do. In fact, at the heart of this month, you may find out the people who are actually finding it difficult to understand your line of logic or the plans that you're putting in motion. That doesn't mean to say you shouldn't do them. Also, in the first 10 days of this month, there's a glorious link between Jupiter and Pluto. Pluto's in your sector of the physical reality, asking you to get more ordered, more structured, and Jupiter's in the part of your scope to do with finance. something can come to pass at the start of this month which does really lift your spirits around resources, but it may require you to transform some part of your life. So that may mean using your assets in a different and more flexible way. Also, on the 2nd, Venus makes its way into Aries, technically debilitated here, but for me this is very much about your love of what's fresh and different. So if you're able to get away and travel this month, your timing is absolutely impeccable. Don't let the Mercury retrograde itself stop you from doing that. Sometimes I get letters or emails from people saying, well, I'm not going to do this because of Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is a time to revisit, rethink, recalibrate, renew, refresh. It's a very positive thing if we embrace it. Now, we all know that Mercury retrograde can tend to affect things like ticketing systems, transport systems, distribution, and something will almost surely come up about, say, for example, the technology that supports withdrawals from a bank. Those are the type of glitches that tend to coincide with Mercury retrograde. But we have a choice. We can micromanage our processes in a very attentive way to reduce and minimize the impact that Mercury retrograde can have upon us. So for example, if something goes wrong with a document on a computer, it might be a little bit of a nudge to back things up, to save them, in some kind of cloud space where they're more secure, to not just rely on the hardware. And those are the type of things that we can sort out when Mercury is retrograde. But for you, because Mercury retrograde initially is around your contacts with others, I think do work hard on your network. So if there's an important message you need to convey, just make sure the other person understands it as you mean it. There is a link between Mars and Neptune between the 13th and the 23rd, which does require a little bit of care, particularly if you're discussing a contractual matter. Mars gives us desire. Neptune can create dreams, but it also can create illusions. There may be something or someone, even in a romantic or intimate way, that you're drawn towards across those days that actually may have some kind of hidden catch. The fact that Jupiter moves into the sign of Aries on the 10th to support the role of Venus is very helpful. Jupiter, of course, is very much to do with belief and the belief that things can be better. It is the planet of fortune, traditionally in astrology. And in this zone, it's asking you to investigate information. So if there is a contract or something that you're drawn towards because it seems very alluring, make sure that you use the enthusiasm of Jupiter to really make sure that what you're getting into is actually going to give you the return that you hope it may. Now, from the 12th through to about the 17th, 18th, the Sun is squaring to Saturn, and this could be more challenging. So your professional instincts, your goals and ambitions could be inhibited in some way because someone close to you or someone you have to relate to within the organisational work network that you exist within may seem cool. They may do what they can to dissuade you from some of your highest hopes. This is an opportunity for you to believe in what you're doing, but because the lunar eclipse is caught up in this on the 16th and the moon is in your 4th house of emotion, you need to make sure that those goals and ambitions feel comfortable and they do work for your closest relationships. So it could be some talking that you need to do and some listening, particularly at the heart of this month. But on the 21st, the Sun moves into the sign of Gemini, which is very much to do with the big picture, your highest hopes and your longer term future. On the 23rd, Mercury does inverse into your sector of career and goals, and maybe something will need to be revisited or changed in some way. It could be a bit fluid and that could be a little bit frustrating, but if you're much more sure of your base and your foundation, the fact that Venus, Jupiter and Mars from the 24th are all at this point in your sister fire sign of Aries is such a great news story. And then the last week, Mars and Jupiter come into an exact conjunction. For a lot of Leos, this is going to give you a lot of desire to do something much more spontaneously, to live in the moment, to try to shake things up. And if you make some last minute travel plans at that point, it really wouldn't be a surprise. But you can be so exciting to be around, I feel, through the last week of this month. The 28th, however, sees Venus move into your 10th house. It may be a case of not just what you know, but who you know. So cultivating good contacts are important. In a romantic relationship, I think all the energy in the 9th house this month is asking you to check the truth out of certain associations. Venus actually clashes with Pluto from the 24th to the 28th. If there is a weak link, it's going to be revealed then. But by the 30th of this month, the new moon in Gemini is all about your social network, your connections to others. Really, really lovely. And that's going to take you into June. And your desire to mix and mingle is definitely going to be heightened. So on the whole, when it comes to your career, the expansion of your plans, being more spontaneous, there's so much to go for this month, I feel, Leo. It's just about those key relationships. I think the truth of some is going to become much more obvious at the heart of this month. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay safe, take care, and goodbye for now.